Hi guys. I wanted to see how long I could sit here and not talk. I made it to 31 seconds. I am gonna wait for a person to join me. Okay, Irma, Karina. It's such a fun exercise just to be in silence with somebody and see and not have to fill the space with words. You know what I mean? It gets awkward, but you can really like get to something real in silence. And when you only say what's really meaningful. Hi, Sydney. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Today is Thursday, November 27th, 2024, and we are smack in the middle of the greatest story Hashem ever told us. We're living it in real time. And I'm trying to be patient with it and not rush to the end and savor every moment of the great reveal of Hashem. So this morning, on my Telegram chat, I have to shout out to the person, I don't even know who he is, Maxime. Hi, Swami Mommy. Hi, Chase. Thanks for getting up early. I gave us an extra hour. So Maxime posted to my Telegram chat a shir, a class by Rev Shimon Kessin. And I listened to about 15 minutes of it and I knocked my socks off. And I have to go back and listen to it after this class and savor every word of it. Why did this class of his capture my heart immediately? Because it lines up with my specific soul mission. What did I learn about soul missions? What have I perceived and noticed about human beings and soul missions? It's that everyone has a core soul message and core soul mission. They might have different offshoots here and there of little side ones, side hustles, but there's always a core one that you travel down here to deliver to humanity. So for me, I've discovered about myself, I keep coming back to it. I wrote a book about it. You know, if that's not like a calling card right there, I don't know what is. But my core message of my soul is to remind people to be in relationship with Hashem, to put the Hashem at the center of all things, to talk to him, to be intimate with Hashem, just to constantly remind people. And why I love this shir so much is Reb Kessin goes into explicit details of how to do this and why to do this. He said a one-liner that stopped me dead in my tracks. He said, this world, Olam Hazeh, is dynamic. Your soul can accomplish something for itself. It's dynamic, that word. And Olam Haba is static. You already got to where your soul was going to get. Right now, we're a human doing, and there we're going to be a human being. Here is where to accumulate something for yourself through having a relationship with Hashem. That's how you do it, he was saying. I'm just summing it up, but he says it so beautifully, so eloquently. He says, how are we different than angels? And I must go back and listen. And I really encourage all of you to listen to this shir. I put it up on my Telegram. I'll put it up on my Facebook. I'll put it up everywhere I can. Because in these last few hours, before it is game over, Ruthie. Where's Ruthie? There she is. Before it is game over, this is the game, you guys. This is the game. Know it so you can capitalize on it. Make yourself the biggest plot in Olam Haba that you can of an intimacy of Devekus to Hashem. That's it, guys. It's been revealed. And that class, after I listen to it, maybe I'll take notes and just summarize next time I'm with you guys, summarize some of his bullet points. But it's amazing the way he delivers it. It's funny, I noticed with Ani, you guys know Ani and love Ani, that Ani's core message, I've noticed because she always comes back to it. You can, if you listen for it, you can hear it in other people. Ani's core soul message is Mochen de Gadlus, which is the adult consciousness that we need to come into in order to be in relationship with Hashem, proper relationship with Hashem. And also, her secondary message, or maybe parallel message, is Simcha, Menucha, and Oneg, the different types of pleasure and happiness to utilize to be in relationship with Hashem, which is I've come to learn is the Atik Yomen. The Atik Yomen, that aspect of Hashem, that Partsuf, is all about delight, Menucha. Okay. Today, on today's agenda, is we're going to read from the Zohar, SHIR, SHIRIM. We're going to do the notes from Rabbi Gozlan. We're going to end with Chanoch, and we'll call it a day. It's a really good one. I have great notes from Rabbi Gozlan. He addresses the question of who are God's chosen people, and it is a phenomenal answer that he gives. He also gives us the meditation for losing weight, which I will show you later. You can screenshot it. People in the audience were clamoring for it, and he finally gave it over. He actually talked about his book that I ordered on Amazon. I could share that link also if you'd like, his book of the different meditations. I'll go through that at the end of our class. Let us begin. It's bittersweet because we've come to the end of SHIR SHIRIM. I'm going to do half today and half on Monday, and that'll be the end. The 8th chapter of SHIR SHIRIM deals with some of the lowest points in our history. The beginning of the exile in Egypt and the subsequent exiles, including the future Roman exile, which is what we are in right now, Galus Edom, in contrast with the times of the Beis HaMikdash. The Zohar alludes to the substitute for the Beis HaMikdash service, with which we have to suffice during exile. The Torah, particularly the Torah Sheba Al Peh, the oral Torah, and the mystical secrets of Torah, which first became available to a broader audience during this exile. Part of the latter is the mystical secret of Yichud, mentioned below a number of times. Yichud is the joining together, the co-joining, the co-mingling. However, the ability to achieve this Yichud is in the merit of our Avos and Imahos, our forefathers and our foremothers, and in the merit of our attachment to the holy, righteous people of this world. Oh, Chase, we're on page 330. I forgot to announce it. 330. This chapter concludes by outlining the reward the souls will gain through diligent Torah study and through observing the mitzvos. And this is a huge part of creating your property in Olam Haba, your landscape, your proximity to Creator, diligent study of Torah and observing mitzvos, and just being in relationship with Creator, like real, like treat him like he's real, like he's actually real. Which is, Rose is really good at that. Rose, if you're out there, I don't know, she's a busy mama, but the wife of Rabbi YIRAH, she's probably the living embodiment of Hashem being real in her life. Page 332. On the pasuk, Mi yitencha ka'achli yonek. If only you would be like a brother to me. Yonek shadei imi, nurtured at my mother's breast. Emtsa'acha bachutz, when I find you outside, eshakacha gam, I will give you a kiss. Lo yavuzu li, and nobody will chide me. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, 332, when I find you, the Jewish people, when I find you outside, meaning in exile in a foreign land, where external and impure forces reign, I will give you a kiss in order to cause my ruach, my spirit, to cling to your ruach, your spirit. This is the mystical secret of yichud nishikin, the co-mingling of breath through kiss, the communion that is achieved primarily through prayer and Torah learning, which happens on the breath. With the words of Torah spoken out loud, speak them out loud, as is the tradition. This theme will be amplified in the Zohar's commentary on later psukim. And no one will chide me for doing so, even though we are in a foreign land. Speaking Torah, doing mitzvahs is hard to do sometimes in a foreign land, where the lofty level of yichud nishikin is not generally found. Alternatively, this yichud nishikin, the co-joining of kiss and breath, can also be achieved through performing mitzvahs, precepts of Torah, which are external in the sense that they are fulfilled largely through material things. Nonetheless, even there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I will kiss you and no one will protest. It is all available to us right now here in exile. The next pasuk, verse 2, chapter 8, page 335. And Hagacha aviacha el beis imi, I will lead you and come with me to the house of my mother, tilamdeni, to teach me, ashkecha mi yayin harekach. I will give you to drink of spiced wine, me asis rimoni, from the juice of a pomegranate tree. Rimoni, my pomegranate tree. Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi said, everything in the world comes to an end, eventually, but the Torah does not come to an end. And there's nothing as beloved to HaKadosh Baruch Hu as Torah and those who study it. That's us right now. That's us right now. As we have learned, to all those who occupy themselves with Torah on a daily basis, secrets from above will be newly revealed to them. And there's nothing better than that. Nothing in this life and any other life that's better than having the secrets revealed, the secret Hashem's secrets. The Torah says, to such a person, I will give you to drink of spiced wine, yayin harekach, from the juice of a pomegranate tree. Spiced wine refers to the wine of Torah that has been guarded in the grapes from the 6 days of creation. Okay? These are matters that will be revealed to tzaddikim in the future. But you might get an early taste of it if you really diligently submerge yourself in the learning of the secrets of Torah. Hashem will give you here and there a little bit of that spiced wine. Torah is sometimes compared to bread in Mishlei 9:5, to water, to milk in Yirmiyahu 55:1, and to wine, as in this pasuk, and also in the Tehillim 104:15. Each of these comparisons views the Torah from a different angle. As a basic necessity, bread, that which causes one to grow and mature, milk, and as one of the sources of the most joy of life, wine. In addition, the Zohar explains in several places that wine is symbolic of the mystical aspect of Torah. Rabbi Bo arose and said, if this is so, if wine symbolizes the secrets of Torah, then we should rather say wine that has been guarded in its grapes from Har Sinai, right? From Har Sinai. not from before creation, not from the 6 days of creation. When the Torah, including the mystical aspect of Torah, was first given, what is the meaning of from the 6 days of creation? Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi responded, these are the deep mystical secrets of the creation that were not revealed to man. They never were revealed, not even to Moshe Rabbeinu, it seems. But the opportunity will arise for tzaddikim to know them. Like the scholars in this group who occupy themselves with Torah constantly, they come to know them. Rabbi Yehuda taught, when any person occupies himself with the studying of Torah to his fullest capacity, his soul ascends on high, so that when he is asleep, they teach him the depths of Torah. Rabbi Yitzchak added, when a person occupies himself with studying Torah lishma, for its own sake, and not to acquire fame, position, riches, and so on, when he sleeps at night, his soul ascends on high, and they, the heavenly court, show him events that will take place in the future. Page 355. Mayim Rabim. Many waters. Lo yuchlu lechabos es ha'ava. Cannot extinguish the love. Unaharos lo yishtafuha. And rivers cannot wash this love away. Im yitain ish es kol hon beso. If a man will attempt to give away his entire household, be ahava, for love, boz yavuzulo, he will earn nothing but contempt. Page 355. If a man im yitain ish, who is this ish referring to? Refers to Samael, the Samach Mem, the angelic manifestation of the male aspect of the chesed of klipa, the dark side, the evil shell or husk that smothers and conceals the spark of godliness that is at the essence of every creature in existence. When Samael sees the love of the Jewish people for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he attempts to give them his entire household. What is the Samach Mem's entire household? His wife, his consort, and we all know her name, Lilith, the female aspect. She is the female aspect of Chesed, of the Klipa side. Why is he doing this? In order to taint their love for Kadosh Baruch Hu. How? By transforming their love into lust for physical intimacy. That burning love for Hashem is dangerous because he likes to try to get to it and flip it into lust. That's his trick. Once we understand it, we can overcome it easily. Why does the Samach Mem do this? In order to obtain his portion from them. In this manner, at the drawing water mentioned in the above section, the implication is that if the forces of evil, Samach Mem, can taint the love of the Jewish people that they have for God by substituting it for the lust of physical intimacy embodied in Lilith, he will be able to take that portion of the spiritual outflow for himself and his nefarious purposes. So we do not want to give any food, any sustenance, any water, anything to the dark side. We want to starve him. And then that's his best hope of being redeemed. Once we cut off his source. chapter 8, verse 8, page 357. This is the last pasuk we'll do for today. Achos lanu katana, we have a little sister, v'shadayim ein la, and no virtue does she possess. Ma na'aseh la'achosenu, what shall we do for our sister? Bayom sheyedubar ba, on the day that her prospect will have his say. Rav Abba began explaining our pasuk. We have a little sister and no virtue. Literally, no breasts does she possess. We have a little sister refers to Knesset Yisrael, who is called sister, the sister of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The little sister refers to Malchus, which is the realm that we're in right now. Her brother is Zeir Anpin, which is the heavenly realm, the world of Yetzirah right above us. So we're the sister, Zeir Anpin, Yetzirah right above us is the brother. Since both are produced by Bina, which is at the top of the tree on the left side, as the pasuk states, the mother of children rejoices, Aim Habanim Smecha, where the mother alludes to Bina and her children are Zeir Anpin and Malchus. And no breasts does she possess, as we have learned when the Jewish people came to Har Sinai, where the Torah was given, they had no merit or good deed to protect them, as our pasuk states, except that in the actual pasuk, this is expressed as breasts, which, because it gets your attention, which we have therefore translated as merits, following the explanation in the Zohar. For they are the rectification, the breasts are the rectification and the beauty of a woman, and she has no beauty other than these. It is upon these virtues that the entire world depends and their sustenance, not upon all kinds of adornments, decorations, and beautifications that provide no lasting value. The ministering angels ask, what then shall we do for our sister? What will be with her? If she has no good deeds on the day that her prospective partner comes, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have his say. At the time that Hashem reveals himself on Har Sinai to announce the words of the Torah, in the initial form of the Aseres HaDibros, the 10 Commandments. For then, since the Jewish people have no good deeds as an anchor, what will happen? Their souls will fly forth from them, and this is exactly what did happen because of the overwhelming revelation that will take place. As the Gemara relates, upon each and every word of the 10 Commandments that the Jewish people heard, their souls flew out of their body, and they had to be revived with the dew of Tchias HaMesim from the end of days. So hopefully when Hashem does his big reveal this time around, we will have enough merits acquired that our souls will not have to fly out of our body. We will have the vessel to contain the revelation of Hashem that is coming any day now, any minute now. Hey Zwali, hey Cassie, hey Sharon. Hey, we got a big crew. Thank you guys for coming. Okay, let's go to the notes of Rabbi Gozlan. Okay. In Shir HaShirim, says Rabbi Gozlan, Hashem is teaching us love because we don't know nada about love. He started with questions, preguntas. Question number 1. A woman felt overwhelmed by learning Zohar. He answered her, sometimes you go to the market and buy a basket of fruit, and sometimes you buy a basket of seeds. And then you have to wait for those seeds to become a twig, to become a branch, to become a root that eventually bears fruit. He said to her, whatever you have not assimilated, don't worry. Keep it in your basket. It is still in the seed state. One day that seed will act on you from the inside out. And I have experienced this. It like hits you like a sudden bolt of lightning. And you're like, oh my God, I just understood that. And then the next day, you'll be like, I didn't understand it yesterday. I really understand it now. It just keeps giving. And when you least expect it, the assimilation will come to you, said Rabbi goes on, suddenly. He gave an analogy to a baby that could be learning multiple languages at once, one language from one parent, one language from his other parent. The baby is totally quiet for 2 years, and then suddenly when he starts talking, you can't stop him. And even with multiple languages. Spirituality is the same. It takes a while for it to enter, but when it starts to hatch, it hatches loudly. And I would say that I had this experience after reading the Zohar to myself from the Sansino for a year. The first revelation, one of the first ones I had, was that Zohar is its own language, different than, Tanakh, different than, the 5 books of Moses, different than Talmud, different than Gemara. It's different. And my ear was able to discern it. I was like, oh, he's a Kabbalist, he's a Kabbalist. You could hear the key words, the key language of Zohar, and you can attach yourself to other Kabbalists. And this is how I found Garment, and this is how I found YIRAH. I was like, oh my gosh, they're speaking Zohar. And I understood it was a much higher level than me, but I wanted to attach myself to that. Question. A woman asked, what does killing the Egyptian mean? When Moses killed the Egyptian, Rabbi Gozlan answered, when it says Moshe killed the Mitzri, it doesn't say he killed a man. It doesn't say man. What it really means, the decode on Moshe Rabbeinu killing the Mitzri, it means he killed his own narrow consciousness. Matzar Mitzri means narrowness. Then Rabbi Gozlan got into his class and started with this. Hashem gave us the precept, the mitzvah of tefillin, phylacteries. When did he give it? When we left Egypt. Inside of it contains verses about the glory of Hashem. It says in the Talmud, Hashem himself also puts on tefillin. What does this mean? It means that Hashem puts on tefillin that contain verses about his love for Israel, the glory of the people. It is a reciprocal love affair manifested through tefillin. Tefillin symbolize that we are tied to Hashem and that Hashem is tied to us. When it says Hashem wears tefillin, it means Hashem is binding himself to the Jewish people. We are valuing each other in a reciprocal bond of love to one to the other. When the men wear tefillin daily, they weaken the power of who? Of the SHIRIM, the chieftains in heaven, who create a mutiny against mankind. We have come to this world with the singular objective of serving Hashem and complying with his will. This, says Rabbi Gozlan, is how we achieve extreme levels of happiness. Don't forget, he said, in Gan Eden, we had extreme levels of super intelligence, and we knew all the secrets that we lost when we came down to earth after the sin. By keeping Torah and mitzvos, and through the will to know Hashem, we will recover that lost super intelligence. His next thought, because we came into the world and because Hashem chose the Jewish people, because Hashem gave us Torah, he said, we have come for all this, but why? To fulfill the will of Hashem, the Ratzon of Hashem. The advantages of complying with the Ratzon of Hashem is 4 things. Number one, you live a protected life. Number two, you live a life of mercy and wisdom. You enter a parallel dimension of mercy, a parallel spiritual dimension. We said that last week. Number three, you escape karma and tikkun. And number four, you live with a certain inner peace and much less stress. He said, Rabbi Gozlan said, we came to this world to acquire a merit. And this merit will give us back what we lost in the garden. When we leave this world, we will have already earned this merit back. The tikkun will be complete. God, Hashem, chose the Jewish people very simply because after Noah, Hashem gave 7 laws. Rabbi Gozlan said only the Jewish people were willing to keep these 7 laws. At that time, the Jews kept the mitzvahs of nida, which is family purity, which is a man and woman separating during a time of the woman's period. We kept nida while we were enslaved. We kept the Hebrew language. We did not eat from a live animal, which is called Aver min achai. Rabbi Gozlan said, this is why we were chosen to accept the Torah and learn it, and then spread it to the nations. And at the end of the class, a woman asked, she was confused. She was like, how is it that they kept nida? Like we didn't have the Torah yet. And then Rabbi Gozlan answered her and said that it came through, I believe he said, Chanoch and the Sefer Raziel HaMalach. All the mitzvahs came down through that angel, Raziel. And that's how the Jewish people in Egypt were able to keep these certain mitzvahs that hadn't officially been given yet in the Torah. Kabbalists are people who study Zohar and the Torah and are considered one family of souls that have a feeling of love, because what Kabbalah does is it makes you discover what divine love really is. It enters your heart. This love gives you an ability to understand the sharpest secrets of heaven and to correct the chaos of this world. The survival, nothing less than the survival of the entire world was because Moshe Rabbeinu brought down the Torah. The Torah is the only antidote to the forces of evil. Yisrael, the word Israel in Hebrew, stands for Yesh, Shishim Ribo Osios LaTorah, Yud Shin Resh Aleph Lamed. There are, which translates to there are 600,000 letters in Torah, which correspond to the 600,000 souls of the Jewish people, 1 letter for each soul. But then Rabbi Gozlan said we have a math problem here because 2.5 million people left Egypt. He said that there is a surplus of 1,900,000 people. Who were they? They were the Egyptian magicians that left with us. And it's so interesting. The little bit that I caught from Rabbi Kessin this morning, he was saying that that energy initiated on the planet from the fallen angels, the Erev Rav energy. You could trace it to its origin back to the fallen angels. And they kept coming back and they kept being reborn in every generation, and we still have them today, as we know. That's the deep state that's being taken out. And the leaders, certain leaders of communities, and you can tell them by their arrogance and you could tell them by their lo lishma. They're not in it for the right reasons. Why did these Egyptian magicians infiltrate? They were desperate to find out the secret sorcery of Moshe Rabbeinu, how he was able to alter the natural laws and create the 10 plagues. But when we study Torah only for love, not for self-interest, just for the beauty, then Hashem, what will he do? Telepathically transmit the secrets to you. Hashem brings down the secrets from the celestial yeshivot academies to those who study the secrets from love. The teacher of Kabbalah receives a spiritual commission from his students' learning. Next concept, Kedusha, holiness, is a few different categories. I'm going to go into each one. Kedusha, the aspect of holiness, how do you acquire it? Through studying Kabbalah, through studying the esoteric secrets of Torah. How do you get tahara, sanctification? That's acquired through immersion in a mikvah. And he told somebody at the end of class that you can be in a shower for 20 minutes, and that's the equivalent of going to the mikvah, 20-minute shower. The combination of kedusha and tahara, holiness and sanctification, creates a holy soul and a holy body. So these 3 steps of going to mikvah, immersing in a ritual bath, praying with kavanah, praying to God with the right intention, and learning the Zohar. This is what redeems you. The mikvah purifies you, praying with kavanah sanctifies you, and the Zohar redeems you. Learning Zohar at Chatzos. And also somebody asked at the end, like, it's hard for me to get up early to learn Zohar at Chatzos. And he's like, in typical Gozlan style, he's like, go to sleep earlier. Be in bed by 9 o'clock and you'll see how easy it is to get up. We had no mercy on that. Rabbi Gozlan said, our reason for being is to innovate, bimechadesh, new interpretations from the study of Torah. And to follow the above steps in order not to allow any foreign emotions to invade your study. Many times, he said, during learning, sad thoughts from the past can come up and generate an interference. He said, you must not allow that. And he said, the best meditation, you could meditate on the word Eloheinu, Eloheinu. And that immediately removes any external aggressor from your study and your thoughts. He said to write those letters, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Nun, Vav, Eloheinu, see it in your mind, and they go away. The only objective in studying the secrets of Torah and gleaning new interpretations is what? No other reason than to spread that teaching to your neighbor. When divine love has entered you because you have learned the secrets of Torah, when you have developed a tender heart, now you can give people a higher level of tzedakah. He calls it tzedakah than even money, because the knowledge of Hashem is this higher level of charity. It's the best thing you could give somebody. Your contagious love of Hashem, so they can develop their own, because that's their olam haba. We're in a dynamic world and we're going to a static world. Now is your chance for your soul to make itself real. That's what Rabbi Kessin said, make itself real. Okay, this is interesting. A question from the audience. What merit did Moshe Rabbeinu have if Hashem spoke to him directly? Where was his free will? Rabbi Gozlan answered, there was a person during the Egyptian time who had seen the face of Moshe Rabbeinu, and he knew how to read the lines of the face and said, this man has all the possible defects a human being could have. And this was true. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu grew up in the house of Paro, surrounded by idolatry and all the defects of Egypt. Well, what did he do? He turned each one of them around. Then there is to understand one thing. Moshe Rabbeinu is a soul that came from his mother and father who risked their lives to bring him into this world. The soul of Moshe Rabbeinu was good from the womb. And although he grew up in the filth of Egypt, he achieved his great merit by turning all of that around, which is even more meritorious than someone who has always had those qualities and has never been challenged. So this was the greatest schar of Moshe Rabbeinu. This is why he merited speaking to Hashem face to face. And this archetype, remember this, guys, this is an archetype of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Raya Mehemana, of somebody who was made to grow up in Egypt, in exile, and turned it all around. Okay, so this is getting to the question that brought me to the title of today's class. How can we understand this concept of chosen people if Hashem created all of humanity? This is the million-dollar question. This is the question that I've always had, that it makes me like embarrassed when people say chosen people. I'm like, stop saying chosen. Everybody's chosen. But this is the best answer I've ever heard. Rabbi Gozlan answered, in the Torah, when these 2.5 million people left Egypt, it says the people, not my people. Those who resisted the sin of the golden calf, meaning they resisted Gilui Arayos, Lashon Hara, and Ayin Hara, which means promiscuity, forbidden relations, evil speech, and evil eye. These were the people who acquired the merit of being called my people. A person acquires this merit of being called my people when they achieve 3 things. Not using an evil eye, not engaging in promiscuity, forbidden relations, forbidden unions, and number 3, not misusing their mouth, meaning not making a golden calf. Those 3 things make a golden calf. And by this, you merit being called the chosen people. Anyone who is careful with these 3 things is called the people of Israel and called by God, my people. It goes on said, it is not going by labels and it is only going by merits. One who uses Torah for personal or perverse purposes is not called people of Israel. And this is the new definition, you guys. Because, oh gosh, I watched a lecture yesterday by a South African guy. I put it up on on my Telegram, but he was explaining how Mashiach will use his sense of smell to discern who is who, to trace their yichus, to trace their lineage, and to know the intentions of their heart and soul. He will sniff it out. It was interesting because he said that he's going to meet with each individual. I don't know how he's going to have the time to do all this, but he's going to meet with every single individual on the planet and discern who they are, where they come from, through his sense of smell. And actually, Garment sent me something I want to read to you from the Zohar. Let me get it up on my phone. Okay, what did Garment say? This was from Yisro Book 10. Yisro Book 10 of the Zohar. It says, Malka Mashiach Berecho. That's the Aramaic. The Mashiach will rule with his Ruach, which means his spirit or his smell. As it says in Isaiah 11:3, V'harecho beyiras Hashem, v'lo lamare einav yishpot. And we're gonna, right now, you guys, we're gonna be mechadesh something together. We're all gonna join in the merit of saying this out loud on our breath, and it will travel to all the worlds. We're gonna say V'harecho beyiras Hashem, because we know the mystery, the riddle of the name of Mashiach that has been kept from us from before creation was revealed to us recently, and we know that the name of Mashiach is YIRAH. And my heart is beating fast as I say that, because I know how big it is to say that. But it says in this pasuk from Yeshayahu, V'harecho beyiras Hashem. It's hidden in plain sight, okay? It's at the pshat. The sod is found at the pshat level. V'harecho beyiras Hashem. It will be inside of YIRAH. What else does this say? And these three people, namely Moshe Rabbeinu, Melech Shlomo, and the King Solomon, and King Messiah, judge the world and will judge the world without witnesses and without warning, without Eidim v'Hasra'ah. The rest of the world must judge by word and by witness and by word of the Torah. Mashiach will not be using those mechanisms. It is incumbent upon those who are wise in these images to warn people, give them musar, and to heal them, and to bring them back, so that when Mashiach smells you, you will smell like the fragrance of Torah. And you will be called the people of Israel, the chosen people. When you study Kabbalah for the right reason, you are called my people by Hashem. Next question, how much, the woman asked, how much can I trust a meditation? He answered her, however much you trust it is how much it'll work. He said, once you see results from a meditation 1, 2, and 3 times, the 4th time you meditate, your level of confidence will be perfect. He said, but if you never jump in, you will never swim. And next question. This is the last thing we'll read today, and before we do Chanoch, what time was late. When meditating on another person, the woman said, do you put them in your Star of David inside with you, or do you put them in a separate Star of David? He said, if you are giving them a blessing, put them in another star. He said, but if you want to take them under your wing, put them in the same star as you. He said, if you're ever on trial, put the judge and the lawyers all in the same star with you so that they will no longer be against you and they'll be within you. Then somebody said, is that not a manipulation to put people in stars with you? He said, no, this is a gift from heaven to those who study the Zohar. And then he started saying that you can use different colored stars for different purposes. For example, a pink star will help. You can help somebody get out of depression. A silver color star can help somebody. You can help somebody who's having money struggles. And that's when I bought the book that he recommended. And I'll share the link on my Telegram to the Amazon, to that book. Oh, and I wanted to show you guys he gave away the secret meditation, the secret sauce for losing weight. Let me see if I could share my screen here. Okay, guys, this is it. It's Ko La Ava, and you light each one up. You put yourself in a gold star. You breathe deeply 3 times, palms up. Put yourself in the gold star, and then you imagine each letter and each nakuda, each vowel, and you light it up. And then you do this one and you light it up. And you do this one and you light it up, and so on and so on. And then you just connect to this name, pass the energy from your brain to your heart to your liver. Electrical energy, magnetic energy, gravitational energy, and you just keep circulating that energy around your body. And he said, this is the formula for losing weight. Okay. Let us end with Chanoch. Oh. Chapter 34. The different concentric circles round the chayot, consisting of fire, water, hailstones, etc., and of the angels uttering Kedusha responsorium. And this is amazing because Rabbi YIRAH posted to his chat last night of the work he's doing in his sefer, the artwork he's doing, and they were all concentric circles. It was let me see if I can find it and share it. I'll put it up on my chat so I don't waste time now. It's literally lined up with the exact work, the 3 symptoms in one beautiful graphic that he's working on as we speak. Rabbi Shmuel said, Metatron, the angel, the prince of presence, said to me, the hoofs of the chayot are surrounded by 7 clouds of burning coals. The clouds of burning coals are surrounded on the outside by 7 walls of flames. The 7 walls of flames are surrounded on the outside by 7 walls of hailstones. The hailstones are surrounded on the outside by stones of barad. The stones of barad are surrounded on the outside by stones of the wings of the tempest. The stones of the wings of the tempest are surrounded on the outside by the flames of fire. These are the concentric circles. The flames of fire are surrounded by the chambers of the whirlwind. The chambers of the whirlwind are surrounded on the outside by fire and water. Round about the fire and water are those who utter holy kadosh. Round about those who utter holy are those who utter blessed baruch. Round about those who utter blessed are bright clouds. The bright clouds are surrounded on the outside by coals of burning juniper. And on the outside of the coals of burning juniper, there are thousands of camps of fire and 10,000 hosts of flames. And between every camp and every single host, there is a cloud, so that they may not be burnt by the fire. Whew, okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me on this Thanksgiving Day. Thank you, Hashem, for bringing us closer to the secrets of your Torah, to your heart and soul, to each other, to form this beautiful group. Continue to reveal to us your spiced wine. We love you very much, Hashem. And we look forward to savoring every single step of this Geula that we're in. Love you guys.